AITA for choosing family trip over friend's wedding? I'm 29 and my friend, Clara, is 30. She's getting married this coming fall. I've known Clara since college. We were always part of the same group of friends, but we've never been especially close, just the two of us. Most of our memories together are at group dinners, parties, or casual meetups. She's kind, she's fun, but we've never had that one-on-one type of friendship. Still, after almost a decade of being in the same circle, there's a certain loyalty I feel toward her. A couple months ago, Clara sent a group text announcing her wedding date. I remember reading it, smiling, and thinking how exciting it must be for her. But at the time, I was overwhelmed with work deadlines and family issues, so the exact date didn't stick in my head. Then, last month, my parents suggested something rare, a full family trip. We don't get those often. My younger brother had just returned from studying abroad, my dad was retiring this year, and my mom wanted one last big trip before our lives started shifting in different directions. It felt like perfect timing. We found one week that worked for everyone. I booked my ticket, split the hotel cost with my brother, and marked the dates on my calendar. I was thrilled. For once, everything lined up. And then, only a week later, a save the date for Clara's wedding landed in my inbox. My heart sank. The wedding was right in the middle of the family trip. I remember staring at the email for a long time, not moving. My stomach twisted. I hadn't realized the overlap. If I canceled the trip, I would lose my plane ticket and my share of the hotel, almost $1,800 total. Money I couldn't get back. But more than the money, it felt like I'd be giving up a once-in-a-lifetime chance to spend time with my family. But skipping Clara's wedding didn't feel right either. She had thought of me, included me in her day. She wanted me there. And even if we weren't the closest of friends, I knew it mattered to her. I didn't know what to do, so I confided in Maya, another friend from our group and one of Clara's bridesmaids. I thought she'd help me think it through, maybe even reassure me. Instead, she immediately said I had to cancel the trip. No hesitation. If you care about Clara at all, she told me, you'll be at that wedding. No excuses. Her words hit me hard. She made it sound like there wasn't even a choice. I tried to explain that this trip wasn't just a holiday. It was the first time in years my family would all be together. I explained how much money I'd lose, how much it meant to my parents. But Maya didn't soften. She said, if you don't show up, Clara will never forget it. You'll regret it more than the money. That stung, because to me, it wasn't about money. It was about being there for my family. But Maya twisted it, made it sound selfish. Over the next week, the tension grew. Maya kept bringing it up. She'd text me things like, have you decided yet? You need to let Clara know, or she's counting on you. Every time, my chest tightened. I hadn't even spoken to Clara directly yet, but already I felt like I was disappointing her. Finally, I tried to raise the subject with Clara during a group brunch. I thought maybe I could hint at it, ease into the conversation. But when I mentioned how excited my family was for our trip, Maya jumped in before I could explain the conflict. She looked right at Clara and said, can you believe her trip is the same week as your wedding? She's actually considering missing it. The table went silent. Clara froze, her fork halfway to her mouth. I felt my face burn. That wasn't how I wanted her to find out. Clara gave a tight smile, then said, oh, really? Her tone was calm, but her eyes looked hurt. I scrambled to explain. I told her how the trip came together, how it was the only time that worked for everyone, how I didn't mean to double book. I told her I hadn't forgotten her wedding. It had just slipped my mind when booking. She nodded slowly, but I could tell she wasn't convinced. I see, she said. Well, I guess you'll just have to decide what's more important. That sentence cut deep. After brunch, Maya messaged me privately. She said I had embarrassed Clara by bringing it up in public. She said Clara had been excited about me being there, and now she felt like an afterthought. I didn't even start the conversation, Maya had, but somehow I was the one at fault. Days passed, and the pressure only grew. Our group chat was buzzing with talk about the wedding, dress fittings, rehearsal dinner plans, decorations. Every time I chimed in, I felt fake, because I still hadn't given Clara a definite answer. One evening, my brother asked if I was okay. I told him everything. He frowned and said, so you're supposed to throw away our family's last big trip together, just so your friend doesn't feel hurt? When he put it like that, I felt torn even more. To my family, the answer was obvious. Go on the trip. To my friends, the answer was also obvious. Cancel the trip. I was stuck in the middle, with both sides making me feel guilty. A few nights ago, it all boiled over. Maya called me, frustrated. She said, Clara thinks you don't care. She's too polite to say it, but I will. If you skip her wedding, don't expect things to ever go back to normal. I told her that wasn't fair, that it wasn't a simple choice, that I wasn't trying to hurt anyone. She snapped back. You've had months to fix this. You just don't want to take responsibility. Then she hung up. After weeks of sitting with the tension, I finally broke down and decided to call Clara directly. I couldn't handle hearing everyone else's filtered versions of what she supposedly thought. I needed to hear her voice, unfiltered, and explain myself without Maya cutting in or group chats blowing things out of proportion. When Clara answered, she actually sounded cheerful at first. She asked how I was, said she'd been busy with wedding plans, and for a second, I almost felt relieved. Maybe this wouldn't be as bad as I feared. But as soon as I gently started explaining the situation, how my family had booked the trip, how it overlapped with her wedding, how I was struggling to choose, her tone shifted completely. completely. Her voice grew sharp. So, what you're really saying is that my wedding isn't as important as your holiday. The word holiday stung. It made everything sound frivolous, like I was skipping out just to lounge by a pool. I panicked and stumbled over my words, trying to explain it wasn't just a vacation. It was a rare gathering before my dad's retirement, my brother starting his new career, my mom wanting one last family memory. But she cut me off mid-sentence. You've always been distant, she said coldly. I should have known this would happen. Her words hit me like a slap. I didn't even know how to respond. I wasn't expecting anger. I thought she'd at least understand a little, maybe even acknowledge how complicated it was. Instead, I found myself apologizing again and again, saying I never meant to hurt her, that I just didn't know what to do. She didn't budge. The call ended quickly. She told me she needed to rethink a few things, then hung up before I could say more. I sat there staring at my phone, heart racing. It felt like a wall had gone up between us. The very next day, things exploded. Clara posted on her private Facebook group page, the one where all of us from college still hang out online. It wasn't directed at me by name, but everyone knew who it was about. The post was long. She wrote about how weddings show you who your real friends are, and how some people will choose money over loyalty every time. She added a line that hurt the most. When you've been there for people for years, and then they turn their back when it matters most, you finally see their true colors. My phone started buzzing within minutes. Screenshots, messages, comments. At first, a few people quietly messaged me to say they understood that family was important and they didn't think I was doing anything wrong. But those voices were drowned out by the louder ones siding with Clara. One old friend from the group texted me directly, "If you don't show up, don't expect to be part of the group anymore." I broke down that night, not just because of Clara, but because it felt like I was watching 10 years of friendships unravel in front of me. People I had laughed with, traveled with, shared birthdays with, they were all turning away from me over this. I cried until I couldn't breathe, feeling like I had somehow become the villain in everyone's story. But then, 2 days later, something completely unexpected happened. Clara's fiancé, David, called me. At first, I thought it was a mistake. He had never called me directly before, but when I answered, he spoke calmly, almost kindly. He said he knew about the Facebook post, and he wanted me to hear his side. To my shock, he told me he didn't think I was wrong. He said he understood that family comes first, and that losing so much money over a scheduling mistake would hurt. He even admitted he had told Clara she was being too harsh. For the first time in weeks, I felt seen. But then he added something that made the situation feel heavier. He said, "You need to know this isn't just about you. She's under enormous pressure from her family. Her parents are paying for most of the wedding, and they expect perfection. Every time someone drops out, she feels like it reflects badly on her. She's not just mad at you. She's scared her whole wedding will look less important." I sat in silence, gripping the phone. Suddenly, it wasn't just about me being a bad friend. It was about Clara feeling judged, about her parents watching closely, about her trying to control every moving part of the wedding because she felt like any flaw would ruin it. I told David I understood, but I didn't know what to do. He sighed and said, "I can't tell you what choice to make. I just want you to know there's more going on than she's admitting." When we hung up, I didn't feel better. I felt even more torn, because now, the situation wasn't just about whether or not I'd attend. It was about whether I was willing to sacrifice my family's trip and $1,800 to ease Clara's stress, to protect her from her parents' judgment, to keep my place in a group that seemed ready to push me out if I didn't comply. Later that night, I got another message from Maya. It wasn't kind. She said, "You've dragged this out long enough. Clara shouldn't have to beg for your loyalty. Either you show up for her, or you prove what we've all suspected, that you were never really her friend in the first place." Reading those words, my hands shook. I wanted to scream. I have been a friend. I've celebrated Clara's birthdays. I've gone to her parties. I've supported her through breakups. I've been there. Maybe not one-on-one, maybe not in the deepest ways, but I showed up. And now, suddenly, it's like none of that matters. I don't know what's worse, that I might lose my place in this group of friends, or that I might lose my chance to make a lasting memory with my family. The walls are closing in, and whichever door I choose, something important will be left behind.
You're not the AITA. A wedding is one important day, but a once-in-a-lifetime family trip planned before you realize the clash, already paid for, tied to milestones like your dad's retirement, carries equal if not greater weight. Clara's anger is colored by stress, image management, and Maya's meddling, not just your choice. Loyalty doesn't require sacrificing financial stability and irreplaceable family moments. Your friends are letting groupthink and pressure override empathy. My suggestion, stop apologizing, give Clara your clear decision, and let the fallout land where it may. If people abandon you over one scheduling conflict, that says more about them than you. Before we jump into the next story, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let us know your favorite part in the comments.
AITA for feeling hurt that my girlfriend never includes me around her friends. I'm 20 and my girlfriend, Lila, is also 20. We've been together for almost a year now. Lila has a big social circle. She's the type of person who always has something planned. Coffee runs, late night dessert outings, beach days, even little road trips that come out of nowhere. nowhere. People seem drawn to her energy. She's funny, quick to make jokes, and she can walk into any room and somehow know everyone by the end of the night. I'm the opposite. I've always kept my circle small. I have 2 close friends, but they both live in different cities now, and I only see them occasionally. For me, most of my social life revolves around her. When she's not around, my days are quiet. I don't mind it. I'm used to it, but sometimes the contrast makes me feel like I'm living on the sidelines of her much bigger world. Here's where the problem started. Last weekend, one of her closest friends, Jonah, planned a casual lunch. Jonah was bringing his girlfriend, and a couple of their other friends were invited too. When Lila mentioned it to me, I thought maybe this time she would want me to come with her. So I asked gently, "Hey, could I come along? It might be nice to meet them properly." She paused, almost like she didn't expect me to ask. Then she shook her head. She said something like, "It's not the right time. You don't know them well yet, and besides, it's just a quick catch-up." Her tone was soft, but the no still stung. I didn't argue, but I admitted I felt left out. She sighed and said, "It's not about hiding you. You just wouldn't feel comfortable there." That confused me. Why wouldn't I feel comfortable if she was with me? Wouldn't she be the one making sure I wasn't left out? But I didn't press it. I told myself to drop it, even though the knot in my chest stayed. The next day, while I was at home, she sent me a photo. It was of the lunch table. Jonah, his girlfriend, and 3 more people I hadn't even heard of were there. I just stared at the picture, my heart sinking. This wasn't some small coffee catch-up. It was a full-on group hangout, exactly the kind of thing where people bring their partners along. I typed back, "I thought it was just a small thing. Looks like a lot of people came. Why didn't you want me there?" Her reply came fast. "You're overreacting. Why do you always assume the worst? This is exactly why I didn't bring you. You get jealous and make things tense." That word, jealous, hit me hard. I wasn't jealous. I wasn't angry she was with them. I was hurt because I wasn't allowed to be there. I tried to explain. "I'm not jealous. I just feel invisible. Every time your friends bring their partners, I'm never included." She snapped back with, "If this is going to keep being an issue, maybe we're not right for each other." That cut deep. It felt like she was saying my feelings weren't valid, that me wanting to be part of her life was too much to ask. I sat there staring at my phone, my chest tight, wondering if I had just pushed her away forever. When she came over that night, things got worse. I thought maybe we could talk calmly, but as soon as I brought it up again, her whole demeanor shifted. She crossed her arms, leaned against the door, and said flatly, "You don't get it. My friends are my escape. When I'm with them, I don't want to babysit you." The word babysit burned. Is that really what you think? That being with me in front of your friends is some kind of chore? I asked. She rolled her eyes. "You're twisting my words. But yes, sometimes I feel like I have to protect you from feeling awkward. And it stresses me out. I just want to relax with them." I didn't know what to say. My voice cracked when I asked, "Do you realize how much that hurts? You're basically saying you'd rather hide me than risk me being quiet in front of them." Instead of softening, she raised her voice. "Why do you always make everything about you? Can't I have something that's just mine without you tagging along?" That started an argument that went in circles. I told her I didn't want to take her friends away. I just wanted to be included sometimes. She kept insisting I'd make things awkward, that it wasn't the right time, that eventually maybe, but not now. By the end, she was crying, I was shaking, and neither of us felt heard. She left abruptly, saying, "I can't deal with this right now." The door slammed behind her. I sat in silence for hours, replaying every word. The more I thought about it, the more I wondered if she really was embarrassed of me. Maybe I'm not funny enough, not outgoing enough, not easygoing enough for her group. Maybe she's scared they won't like me. Or maybe, worse, she doesn't want them to know how serious we are. Since then, she's acted like nothing happened. She sends me good morning texts, little photos of her day, casual updates. But every time my phone buzzes, I remember the way she said babysit. I remember the way she made me feel like my presence was a burden, not something she wanted. A few days after that argument, I decided to back off. I didn't text much, didn't call. I thought maybe if I gave Lila space, things would cool down. Maybe she would start missing me and realize that I wasn't trying to smother her. I just wanted to be included. For 2 days, things were quiet. She sent me the usual good morning text, and I responded politely, but there was no real conversation. My chest felt heavy every time I saw her name pop up on my screen. Then, on the 3rd day, I got a message that shook me. It wasn't from Lila, it was from her friend Sienna. I barely knew Sienna. We'd maybe spoken once or twice in passing, but that was it. Her name lighting up my phone made me freeze. At first, I thought it might be a mistake, but when I opened the message, my hands went cold. She wrote, "I think you should know what Lila's been saying about you." My stomach dropped. I kept reading, my heart pounding so hard it felt like it was in my throat. Sienna explained that in their group chat, Lila had been venting about me. She had called me clingy, socially awkward, and too insecure to handle being around everyone. Sienna said a couple of friends had even asked why I never came to their hangouts, and instead of telling them the truth, that she was the one keeping me away, Lila told them I preferred to stay home and didn't like being around big groups. I sat there staring at the screen, my chest tightening with every word. It wasn't just the lies, it was the way she painted me, like some burden she had to make excuses for. I wanted so badly to believe Sienna was exaggerating, but she even sent me screenshots. And there it was, black and white, Lila's words laid out for me to read. I felt like the air had been punched out of me. For so long, I'd been telling myself maybe I was overthinking. Maybe she just wasn't ready to bring me around yet. But seeing those messages, it was clear. She wasn't protecting me from awkwardness. She was protecting herself from having to admit she didn't want me there. I didn't know what to do. I sat with it for an hour, staring at my phone. Finally, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I called her. She answered after a few rings, her voice annoyed. Hey, what's up? I'm Buse. I didn't even ease into it. My voice was shaking, but I went straight to the point. Why are you talking about me to your friends like that? Silence. Then, after a long pause, she said sharply, Who told you that? The way she said it made my chest ache. Not, I didn't say that. Not, you misunderstood. Her first reaction was to figure out who exposed her.
When I told her it was Sienna, she snapped.
Unbelievable. So, now my friends are running to you behind my back.
Great.
Do you see why I didn't want you around? This is exactly the drama I was trying to avoid. I couldn't even believe what I was hearing. My voice cracked as I asked, Do you even care how it felt to read those things? Do you realize how humiliating it is to know you talk about me like that? She cut me off. You're twisting everything. I vented, okay? Everyone vents. It doesn't mean I don't care about you. Venting is one thing, I said, but you made me sound like I didn't want to be part of your life. You made me look weak and pathetic to your friends. How am I supposed to trust you after that? Her tone turned cold. If you can't handle me being honest with my friends, then maybe you're not ready for a real relationship. That broke something in me. Instead of acknowledging the pain she caused, she flipped it back on me again. We argued for nearly an hour. She cried at one point, saying she was tired of being attacked, but the whole time, I couldn't shake the feeling that she was more upset about being exposed than about what she'd done. When we finally hung up, I felt worse than before. I thought that would be the end of it. But later that night, I got another message. This time, it was from Jonah. He started carefully, saying he didn't want to get in the middle, but he felt like I deserved to know the truth. He told me flat out, We don't get why Lila has never brought you. Everyone's cool. We would have welcomed you. Honestly, man, it's weird she hasn't introduced you properly yet. I stared at his words for a long time, then typed back, Do you think she doesn't want me there? His reply shook me even more. I don't know, but I'll say this. She acts different around us. Like, not in a bad way, but maybe she's scared you'll see that side of her. That sentence hasn't left my head since. She acts different around us. What does that mean? Is she pretending to be someone else with me, or pretending to be someone else with them? And why would she want to keep those sides separate? Now I feel like I'm standing on a cliff edge. Part of me wants to confront her harder, demand she explain everything. Another part of me is terrified that if I push too far, she'll just decide I'm not worth the trouble and end things right there. But deep down, there's one question that won't go away. If someone truly values you, if they're proud to be with you, would they ever go out of their way to keep you hidden? And if the answer is no, then what does that say about what we really are?
Not AITA. Your feelings are grounded. Wanting to be included in your partner's social life isn't controlling or jealous, it's normal. Lila, though, handled things poorly. She excluded you, lied to her friends about your choices, and dismissed your emotions by framing them as jealousy or drama. That isn't protecting you, it's protecting herself from accountability. My take? If someone makes you feel like a secret, or worse, a burden, that's a red flag waving louder than a marching band. Relationships are supposed to be about partnership, not one person running a PR campaign at your expense. You weren't asking to join every hangout, you just wanted a seat at the table once in a while. That's not clingy, that's basic respect. If I were in your shoes, I'd seriously reevaluate whether this relationship is worth your peace of mind. Because if being included makes her roll her eyes, maybe the problem isn't you, it's that she doesn't actually want you woven into her life. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Got a story to share? Drop it in the comments and let us know which one was your favorite. If you enjoyed this video, you'll definitely want to check out AITA for refusing my partner's family birthday. Click here to watch it now.